Hello, everybody. I know I missed last week. Well, I didn't really miss it. I just didn't put out a celestial chatter. I was relocating from the Phoenix area over here to La Jolla, California, and you know, a lot of other things landed on my plate to deal with. Speaking of which, I come before you with kind of a heavy heart this morning. Not in the sense that I might directly know somebody who's in the process of transition. There are some on this wavelength who are close, but more along the lines of a recognition that there are things going on in this planetary dance that we are about that are going to cost the lives of a lot of people. And for that reason, I my heart feels pretty heavy at looking out and seeing that there are actually people out there that have built cages, locked cages around their hearts and are unable to really fathom the damage that is being what should I put it? The damage that's being it's happening to people on this planet that we have, through our current political system, cut off from the assistance that our great American dream, theoretically, was founded upon. And I woke up this morning. Oh, I oftentimes will wake up with a song in my heart. So, I'll just hum a few bars for you. You will know it, I'm sure. You who along the road must have a code that you can live by, and so become yourself, because the past is just a goodbye. And there's another verse just a little bit further on in the song. I don't know whether I'll sing it for you, but the message in it. Can you hear? And do you care? And can't you see we must be free to teach your children what you believe in and make a world that we can live in? The political dance that we are observing right now is enough to irk a whole lot of us. And you can see it. The protests are building. The gatherings of people, setting up to encounter those, creating, what could very easily be seen as the potential for havoc. It's not the protesters that are the havoc. It's those that are stirring them up, creating havoc by, many factors, cutting out, if you will, our checks and balances within our democratic system. I didn't really want to get into the political stuff of this year, but, the heaviness in my heart about what is going on right now, it just, it isn't right that we should, sit back and allow this to transpire. I've been thinking about, the dynamics of living, being alive these days. And, I can tune in at any moment and listen to the conversations that our planetary neighbors are having. And yet at the same time, the relevance of what it is that is going on, and trying to, cast a spell, if you will, of what the muses are trying to have us pay attention to and not be distracted by all this falderall that is going on. It's not easy. I even, have been toying with the point of, why do I even bother to do these weekly celestial chatter expressions when, the stuff that's going on right now is affecting every aspect of life on this planet? These other planetary beings that are dancing around us all the time, they're on a long footprint trajectory that, you beings on planet Earth, you may kill yourselves all off, but that will not change the trajectory that we are on. We can only offer you the perspective of what it means to actually tune in with one another. And if you're not willing to do that, well, your problem, not ours. When I just last night, Jackie and I were walking back from retrieving some burritos to eat for dinner, and there, gracing the western sky, was the new moon. There was a little sliver of a crescent in the sky, and Venus right next to it. Moon and Venus. These are experiences of harmony, trying to get our attention. Are we paying attention? Yeah, I got to ask that. That's a real question. Are you paying attention to, are there harmonious things going on in the world around you that, you can kind of, turn your back to and say, it doesn't really affect me? Bull. It all affects us. It affects us all. And we need to, really speak our minds about this. This is not the way that humanity is going to survive. Oh yeah, that is always one of those options. Will humanity survive? Today is Sunday, the 2nd. On this day, Venus, that bright glowing orb that was in the sky last night, is going to station to go retrograde. Venus, harmony, love, art, valuation, resources. It's going to be now going in reverse for a while. So those factors that it represents are not necessarily going to be clamoring for our attention front and center to say, yeah, we need more harmony, we need more love. Well, we do, but the planet going in reverse for a while is not necessarily going to easily be invited into the muses' playground to get our attention. And just for a little extra, Jimmy, recently also Mars, traveling out of bounds until April 7th, went direct. Mars, the energy of the warrior, that experience of what does it mean to clash as a possibility, is going forward now. And you can kind of almost feel the energy that is being stirred up in this global dance that we're all participating in, saying, well, maybe the Venus is going to take step into the background for a while, and Mars is, stepping into the foreground in a fashion that, it's pretty damn obvious. There is restlessness afoot, and you can feel it. And I hope you're doing something about it by, making comments to your elected officials to wake them up to what is going on. This is inappropriate. And In the week that's coming up, Mercury, which today, Sunday the 2nd, is holding hands with Neptune in Pisces on 28 degrees of Pisces, is just about to, tomorrow, step across that line out of the Piscean realm into the Aries realm. Impulse and drive. Aries, initiating something new. And Mercury, what are you thinking about? Where are your current conversations leading you? Are you paying attention to what's really going on here on the planet right now? People are dying because of the things that we're pulling back on as a nation that once stood for, very dynamic support for one another. How is this possible? As this next week progresses, notice I'm not even showing the chart because I don't think that's really required. We go through our first quarter moon, crisis in action, and this is on the 6th. I'm not sure what day that is, but it will be at 16 degrees of Gemini in close proximity to, you guessed her, Mars. No, Mars is close proximity to Jupiter. So this crisis in action, which is always a time when you really have to take stock of what is your to-do list say is there for you to accomplish. And, a first quarter time frame, square to the new moon that happened up there in Pisces this last week, is asking you, have I got too many things on my plate to do right now? And might it be beneficial to, release some of those to-do ideas so that I can really focus in on the ones that are most appropriate at this time? That's, a first quarter moon, and it's in Gemini. So what have you been thinking about? Who have you been talking to? Are you speaking your mind? Jupiter. It's not a small consideration that we're, pointing out here. That first quarter moon close to Jupiter is saying, don't think small. Never small with Jupiter. So that kind of energy. I am not going to go on long this morning. I'm just irked. And you should be too. Because this is, there are so many things that are out of balance right now. Venus, the planet of balance, going retrograde today. So over the next while Venus is doing its retrograde dance until April 13th, is it's going to be a challenge. We're going to see things. You ain't seen nothing yet. You've heard that expression. Well, that is my gut saying, my heart needs more openness. So if you find yourself with a heart caged in some fashion, get the key and unlock that thing and let your heart out. We need more of that right now. That is a requirement. And, I just may go through a spell where not doing these celestial chatters is really what I have to do, because there's so much else going on, even though it might fall within the context of this planetary dance. There's a restlessness that we should all be paying attention to. Speak your mind. Speak your heart. We're doing some amazing things these days that we need to be paying attention to. That's all I'm going to offer you for this week's consideration. So until next week, maybe, if I decide to continue to dance, depending on where I'll be, I really have no idea at the moment. Keep your heart open. I said Jackie's in the background trying to stir me up. I don't know if it's possible to stir me up any more than I am. Anyway, so ciao for now.